What's up, yo? Welcome to the Dark Preview Show. It's Dan and Luke once again. We're here to preview round 10. We call it Magic Round in the NRL. We'll preview each game. We'll give you our best bets. But Luke, we've got another Luke I wanted to talk about. Luke Brooks. He's made the cover of the this video. Absolutely dusted up your boys in Penrith. What do you make of his performance, mate?
That wasn't bad, but where's it been? Can he do it again? Probably not. He played well, but we'll see again if he can repeat it this weekend.
Oh no, there's probably no chance. But the conditions suited him perfectly. That game was built for an upset. That Tigers one.
Oh, it's Penrith's season. We've played in the most horrific conditions for half the year. It's not as bad as World Club Challenge though. That was fucked.
Oh yeah. You know, the one thing I like about Penrith is that it feels like 90% of their games are predictable.
Yeah.
Very predictable. And you can see it in the numbers. It's either we're slapping this team by 30 or the opposition is covering the line and it's going unders. Like,
yeah, it's a grind. It's not easy.
All that has happened. Underdog with the line, unders, easy, or Penrith beats them by 30. Like, that's all that happens. Who's Penrith got this week?
Warriors on Saturday.
There you go. Warriors to cover, total under.
Easy money, boys.
Form, baby. Easy money, boys. Put in the bank. But look, we'll get to that game eventually. What else happened last week? There's a few upsets. Quite a few, actually. We had the Titans to cover last week. Fucking blasted these Manly pricks. Destroyed them. Quite a glorious game. We both took the Tigers. The line was at 20.5 one point. I think it closed at 17.5. They fucking ended up winning. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
What else up? Any other upsets last week? Shit, I only got the 5 that I bet on. So,
it wasn't. Obviously, I think it's just teams we didn't like. Again, I talk about it every week how much I don't rate the Cowboys this year, but yet some reason I take them with the handicap, and then they get flogged, and I wonder why I didn't see that one coming.
Was that against the Sharks?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, you're a lunatic, mate. I told you.
It was horrendous.
I gave you a warning there.
I thought they'd be competitive, but anyway, they were shit.
They're gone.
Newcastle as well.
But hey, look, I thought the Knights would be competitive, and they were shocking. I think the key take out of the Knights. The same thing with the Sharks turning it on, right? Nico comes back, so the Sharks are a fucking absolute offensive force, and for the Knights, Kalen comes back, and they are as frail as it gets.
Yeah,
like sardine bones. These guys you can just eat them whole. To be honest, they're bloody awful. He missed 10 tackles himself in that game.
Yeah,
Para had 13 line breaks, 61 tackle breaks.
Yeah, it's not pretty.
But Parramatta probably had the ball for 50 minutes, 50 out of the 80 minutes. So they were breaking more than a tackle every minute.
Yeah, they really made Bryce Cartwright all of a sudden look like a superstar again.
Mate, the Cardi Party's been really good this year.
Has been, to be fair.
He has, actually. He's been going well. So, look, the Eels were good, but the Knights were absolute dog shit. Very similar with the Sharks, Cowboys. Broncos v Rabbitohs. The Broncos didn't play that good. I wouldn't say they played like dog shit, to be honest. I thought the Souths were really good in that game. And then it just got worse the longer it went on. Souths were dominating Brisbane in the middle. Adam Reynolds tried to play around it and found a little bit of success. So we looked better than we were actually playing in that first half. We were losing that fucking middle. Second half, scoreboard pressure. And then the backs were just fucking everything up. Then possession shifted to Souths. Our forward pack depleted. Had to make too many tackles, and then just started to fall off.
What about Reynolds? A little bit of frustration with his old club. Hey, he really. You could tell
wanted to beat him.
He had a chip on his shoulder. Hey,
he does. And good on him. I like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, like he came out to make a statement.
Yeah, and then it just became one of those games where like everything went South's way. Like even Latrell's second try. How ridiculous is that? That just happens when you've got all momentum. Things just happen for you. So, as a Broncos fan, I couldn't get too upset with that game. I feel like the Canberra game was more upsetting, but I think this game is a better wake up call for them because it shows how far they are to the top sides.
Yeah, you add in Payne Haas and
Yeah.
those players are missing. I still don't think they win that game. Like,
No,
they'll keep
no.
it competitive, but
I think they still lose 13 plus, to be honest. Not like 26, but
yeah,
probably 3 tries. I think we'll lose because they
yeah.
would have. They were so up for it from 1 to 17. They're all ready to go.
Mm.
Like, oh yeah. So look, we can make the Payne Haas excuses, but I don't think it would have made a difference, to be honest. Raiders Dolphins. We didn't really pick that one. Well, I know I didn't. I thought that game would go unders for sure. The conditions were meant to be shit. We know the Raiders like a grind, crash plays. The Dolphins is quite depleted. How well can they play in the wet? Because they play pretty expansive at times. Fuck me dead.
How many times this year have they done that? Like, come from, like, they were down 10-0 early, I believe, as well. Like,
Yeah.
8-0 or something. At least a try and a
It was
penalty.
like in the first 10 minutes.
And it just looked like, oh, this is going to be bad. And they
one
just
way.
and so many times Raiders went to that 12-point lead or 8-point lead, and they kept reeling them in. It's just them. It's them this season. It's crazy how they keep doing it. At some point, it's got to break.
Oh.
And yeah,
Mate, it's when the real turning points in the second half when like Jesse Bromwich came back on the field. Like I know he scored a try, but I'm not talking about the try he scored. He just was like a running machine. Like he was getting 12, 15 meters every hit up. I think in the first half he took 2 runs for like 12 meters because they didn't have the ball when he was on there. Second half he was just running through everyone. Jared Wallace grows an extra leg. Look, it's very entertaining, but it's very hard to predict. Bang on about the Titans, or bang on about the Tigers. And what else happened last week? The Roosters Warriors game. I said the conditions were going to be awful, and they were. Greedily, I took Warriors to cover and total under.
Yeah.
Look, Greed got the best of me because unders was the best player by far in that game. But me being such a biased Warriors supporter, I wanted to see them cover that line. You know, I wanted them to do well. But in hindsight, the under I knew it was the best play. They had 40-kilometer winds and light rain. 40
and
kilometers.
they still got 20,000 there as well. Like,
yeah,
and
they didn't even leave once the game. Like the Warriors game finished, they stayed there. Bloody
nuts
weapons, right? So, but I knew it was going to go unders. 40-kilometer winds they had. The game, and when I was checking the comparing it to the other games that weekend, I think the Dolphins game I checked the weather for, it was light rain with like 13-kilometer winds.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's, not the best conditions, should go under. This was 40 kilometers. Like, shit was swirling around everywhere. So the rain was, I fucked up. And the Dragons Bulldogs game, I was on the fence with that one. I said, if this Oluwapu bloke plays, I reckon the Dogs win. He's actually a lot bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah.
He's got I just thought he was like your standard halfback with a big head, because I know he's got a big head, but he's built like a lock.
He's boy.
A big kid. And he had some great touches. He's aggressive. Didn't seem overawed by it. So
he played 47 minutes. So
yeah. Look, part of me stinging we lost him now, because in the pictures, like, he just looks like a normal 6, but he's actually big. He's a thick young fella. He's only like 18. So yeah, he's going to be a really good player. Spewing a little bit that we lost him, but what can you do?
Can't keep anyone, mate. Trust everyone. Trust me.
Oh, mate. Yeah, we lost Cameron Smith.
We had Thurston for a day apparently, and then he stayed at the Cowboys.
And Cooper Cronk and Billy Slater. Well, that's the thing. We never had them. We rejected them all.
Yeah, you chose your path.
We went the wrong way. We chose Brett Seymour.
Weapon.
Absolute weapon. We refused to let Dave Taylor go. Paid overs for him. The joys. Well, let's get into this week. We got Magic Round. First, are you attending? You going up there?
I am going.
Yeah.
No, I need 2 more tickets. If anyone's got tickets, give us a call. I need 2 more.
Hit us up.
I'll hit the Discord up. I'm sure some
How
of
many
these
of you are
guys.
going?
5 in this group, but there's other groups going. Well, I think there's another Bucks party going. So there'd be, I think it's 20 in that, and then there's other, like, I would know about 40 to 50 people going.
Jesus. You going to get some coward punches going or what? Or too
No,
old for that now?
Penrith, mate. Got to be arrogant, pull hair. got to carry on like back-to-back premiers in Brisbane. So
yeah, that's true. So you don't have any tickets at all?
no, I do. I got 3. I need 2 more for the 5.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
No,
So either that or we're going to play Survivor. I think whoever's last, we vote people off, and the 3 get the tickets. But did you know, random fact, that there's been 44 seasons of US Survivor?
Yeah, I believe that.
That means it must be pumping them out like 3 a year or something. It hasn't been going on for that many years, has it? I was supposed 2 a year. Let's say
they do
20.
2 a year. Yeah.
2 a year. Fuck.
And sometimes they'll do 2 a year and then they might just chuck like an all-stars one.
That's
like
insane.
the best of the best go in it or just certain celebrities.
Talk about milking something.
Oh, that show is so good. It's unbelievable. It's one of my favorite shows. If I wasn't so committed to punting, I'd be on Survivor.
And has like someone been on like say 6 seasons? Like different, or I know some people have been on multiple seasons, but has someone been on like
3, 4 is usually the cap.
Yeah.
They cap out. I think one of the chicks, she's won it twice. And she's like what? Early 50s, late 40s.
Yeah.
Lacks all athletic ability. Doesn't even have great social skills, but she's a savage.
I also looked up and I noticed they've only done 2 in Africa. Is that because it's really hard, those ones?
I would assume so.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of them seem to be in Oceania, so I think the weather's a bit more tropical.
Yeah, I think the tropical weather just gives you different challenges, but it can also give you like different obstacle courses and shit. In Africa, you're really just fucked. Like you're just hot, starving, and there's not much to do.
Yeah.
Whereas in the tropical ones, you get cold, you get the heat, you've got the water challenges, stuff on land. Plus, I feel like there's less chance of murder.
Yeah, but I was looking at it because I was so curious. I was like, "Fuck!" And then since like season 33, they've all been in Fiji. So if they got like a deal, like the 10-year contract or something?
They're funding the tourism there, perhaps.
Is this like a NRL grand final host and like you've got the contract for 10 years, Magic Rounds in Brisbane? What's the deal or something? Like because they've stopped going around the world and they've gone Fiji every time.
Yeah,
which to me seems like a holiday.
It's like State of Origin. You sign the contract for 10 years. I don't know. They love Fiji. They love Samoa. They don't go to Tonga much, but Fiji and Samoa is very popular.
Yeah. Poor Tonga.
But no, it's interesting. It's a great show, but so that's just completely random fact, not connected to anything that we're talking about here.
Nothing. Right? I was just doing research. That's purely it. And I was like,
just Googling, having a Google.
44 seasons. So yeah. There you go.
Just having a googs. All right. Let's talk some rugby league. Your first game of Magic Round, 6 p.m. on Friday night. So we get no Thursday night football. Might have a movie night. We've got the Bulldogs versus the Canberra Raiders. I'm not presenting the odds up on the screen. I was too committed to searching for bets, but 2 bookies open at the moment. Sportsbet seems to have the best odds in the NRL for this week. So I'll refer to them a little bit more. We got Canberra at $1.60. Dogs are $2.35. The line's 3.5 points. Totals are 41.5. Key changes to the team. For the Bulldogs, Braden Burns is out. I don't know how he kept playing. He was absolutely fucked last week. He's actually going to be out for quite a while, but Jacob Carraz is back. And Max King might come back. And Olowapu keeps his bench spot. That's pretty cool. And for the Gators, we've got the X-Man, Xavier Savage. He's back. He's playing on the wing. And Albert Hopewadi is gone. Corey Harawira-Naera moves to the centers. That's an interesting one. Is that true? Because I can't see that online.
No, he's jumping number 21.
Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. He's moved to the reserves.
He's gone.
Shit. I struggled to get a play on this one. Both teams are pretty unpredictable for me. playing up in Suncorp is going to be different to what both of these teams are used to. Bulldogs have got more players back, but still their forward pack's a little bit weakened, and we know that the Raiders, it's all about their forward pack. Then comes Jack Whiten, and Samoko has been surprising pretty good this year. What are your thoughts on this one? What happens? Because I've got no fucking clue.
Neither do I. So I've gone Raiders 1-12. Just on the pure base, I think Raiders will win. I'll tip the Raiders, but I don't think they'll be convincing. So 1-12 is.
That's pretty juicy. What's that? 270.
What do I get? 295.
295. That's pretty good. I think the Raiders will win. 1-12 is probably the safest bet, but either team 1-12 is probably the safest bet, but you're getting like $1.70.
Yeah,
close to. That's probably
you'll get Ricky Stewart stressing on the sideline.
Yeah,
in the last 20 in this game, he doesn't seem to get an easy win or a convincing win.
No. How do you think Canberra bounces back? Very emotional last week.
Yeah.
What do you think the bounce back is? Is there more a relaxing thing? Because I doubt that, because the last week's game was the one they would have got up for. Now this could be a downer. Could be. I'm not saying it will, but
I think the media being. I think there'll be less pressure on the media. Will be off them.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
Means they could actually disappoint people this week.
Could. I just don't think the Dogs are crash shot either, though. That's the only thing. I think the Dogs came out again and played a very similar. People gave them a chance. They hung on. It was a big game.
Yeah,
both that could be letdown spots. So
it's a big game, but no one's going to talk about it. Like that Raiders game that was forgotten the day after. Once the next set of games started, it didn't matter that they smashed the Dolphins early. It didn't matter that they let the Dolphins back in. It didn't matter that they kicked a field goal to win after butchering many opportunities. The only thing that matters is Jack Whiten cried and Ricky Stewart got emotional. But that's gone now.
I don't know why he was so emotional. Like, he's leaving the club. That was weird.
Mate, you've never stuck to something for 14 years the way Jack did.
No, I haven't. I have commitment issues.
Yeah, look, there's too many factors here. There's no real emotional factors for the Dogs. I think they're just a neutral. How they were last week, they'll probably be this week. Which means they'll be patchy. Burton might make a line break running himself. He'll bomb the ball. Everyone will be offside. When he put that bomb up last week and the chasers were offside and Reynolds, it's obviously Josh Reynolds. I was like, fuck, we spoke about this on Tuesday.
It's too deep. He's too deep now. It just doesn't. He's got to reach. He's got to learn to take it and take it to the line and put it up with his line
quicker.
Or his defense or his attacking line has to understand that if he's putting it up, you got to drop back. Sprint back.
Like, the thing is, he's kicking it higher than anyone else. Why do you have to be so far ahead?
Yeah, that's true. If he's calling for it, your wingers should see that signal or whoever the chasers are, send his wingers drop back behind him and then go.
Well, he's going to get a kick of him running. Like Nico Hines and Nathan Cleary, they run the short side and put bombs up all the time. They actually engage the line and put it up. And they get hit. They get tackled after the kick, which is, it's not a bad play, but no one touches Burton when he kicks it. He's that deep.
No.
Doesn't get close. So, look, something to think about. I'm not touching it. There's too many ifs, buts, and maybes. One thing I shall be touching is myself to this next game. The Manly Sea Eagles versus the Brisbane Broncos at 8 p.m. on Friday night. I'm happy to see my team playing early in this. Well, we always do. I'd hate for them to be one of the weekend games all at the one stadium. Brisbane $1.28 favourites, Manly $3.75. The line's 10.5 points. Totals, you're looking at 44.5 points here. Looking at the lineup, what do we got? For the Sea Eagles, Gerbo is out, calf complaint. Brad Parker and Cooler are back in the centres, which pushes Garrick back to the wing and Tuipulotu back to the reserves. Morgan Harper's also out of the squad, so great news for Manly fans there. Aaron Woods is on the bench. Probably not the best news for Manly fans. For the Broncos, just two changes. Payne Haas and Ezra Mann back from suspension, pushing Jock Madden out of the lineup, and Keenan Palacia back to the bench. So the bookies are predicting an absolute bounce back by the Broncos here. An absolute slaughter fest. And when we were losing the game last week, we were losing to South. I was like, we're going to fucking destroy Manly. like they're going to cop it next week. I was thinking that during the game. And the only thing that's happened between that game and today is that the line just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It just moved 1 point. It just, on tab, it just moved to 11.5.
Like the interest rates, 25 basis points.
Hell. So the line keeps moving. So the public are heavily backing Brisbane. I normally try to get too smart with it and avoid backing the public, but I'm going to back my boys in here. I reckon go 13 plus on them. What are your thoughts? What do you think happens in this one?
I've gone unders, under 44.5.
You're a brave man. Tell me why.
Last 3 Manly games have gone under that, and last 2 Broncos games have gone under. So basically between them, 1 out of the last 6 games have gone over the 44.5. Last year, Brisbane only won 38-0. I know only sounds right, but they still didn't go over the 44.5. Year prior, 50-6. That was the Tom Turbo show, basically, from memory. I'm pretty sure he scored the first try according to Sports, but I think he scored a heap that
Ben
night.
Barber season.
Yeah, but then the 2 years before that, they only went 38 and 36 points. All Magic Round games. So of the 4 Magic Round games, 1 has gone over. Between the last 6, only 1 have gone over. I think it'll be reasonably close. I just look at the draw, though. Isn't it crazy this weekend how many teams ladder-wise are playing each other, how close they are? Like, first game, they're 13th versus 11th. This one's 6th versus 1st. The Warriors' Penrith's 8th versus 7th. So they're not – I don't think they're that far apart. Like, I think the 10.5 would be – I'm tempted, but I think it's a couple points too many. I'm worried that they'll only win by 10 or something.
If we play 40 minutes again, then it's a real possibility that Manly cover that.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Manly, if you beat them early, they're not coming back. Manly have to show, and it could be a good live bet. If Manly are on from the start, you could take Manly to cover. They'll keep it close all the way through. But if they start a bit slow and they're not on their game, we'll jump them. We'll get the points happening, I reckon. It's all about that for and against. We're only plus 70 on the season. Cronulla and South better for and against than us this year, same as Penrith, believe it or not. So. Yeah, so I'm taking overs. I'm not taking overs. I'm taking Broncos to cover. I'm actually taking them 13 plus for that extra juice. And you've got the unders in this game. Not bad. I'll award it. I get you.
Award it.
I'll award it. All right, into Saturday. So 3 p.m. Keep this in mind for all these games this weekend. Sun's going to be out all week. We're not looking at high temperatures. Sun's going to be out. I think it's going to be perfect conditions. The track, it's going to get torn up. So hopefully by Saturday, it's still in good nick. Well, actually, hopefully it's in terrible nick because the Warriors are versus the Penrith Panthers at 3 p.m. The Penrith Panthers are $1.31. Probably some of the best odds you'll see for them all season. Warriors are $3.50. The line is also 10.5 in this one. Total points, you're looking at 41.5. We've got Panthers looking to bounce back after losing to the Tigers last week in the rain. So they'd appreciate a bit of sunshine. The Warriors played in a hurricane against the Roosters, failed to score a point. But team changes, good news for both teams. For the Warriors, CNK and Tohu Harris are back. And for the Panthers, Fisher Harris is back as well. So for me, I'm just taking the unders in this game. We spoke about Penrith's trends. You take the underdog to cover and the total points to go under, or you take Penrith to absolutely demolish these motherfuckers. Now, Penrith are no strangers to demolishing the Warriors. I think they beat them by 30-plus points the last 2 games. But this Warriors team, with their new coach, who happens to come from Penrith, I think they put up a bit of a fight here and keep it close. What are your thoughts on this one?
Unders.
Going with your heart or head?
Nah, unders. It's
unders.
They're just, and again, the big thing is Cleary's injury. Like, he's not playing. Yeah. He's not kicking, so he's not 100%.
Will his injury get better if he keeps playing?
I don't know. It's a weird one, and they're not talking about it, so I don't even know what it is. Like,
it's a groin.
But then how can he put up like bombs and kicks?
I think it's playing the motion of his leg. I think it's
playing in the wet. But then you can't take goal kicks. It's weird to me. They can take dropouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
he still kicks on every set.
He's kicking off the ground. Like, it's weird to me.
Yeah, that's true.
They're playing wounded. They're not full strength. I think, and again, I just can't see Fisher Harris coming in and being the link that the attack needed or something.
No.
So
If anything, they shore them up in the middle even more.
yeah, and they're just
The
hard to
Warriors
crack.
may not score more points.
Yeah.
So I think it's a grindy fucking game, this one.
Yes. I could see, like 10 minutes to go again.
Yeah.
Penrith could be behind again or up by 1 or 2. Like
Mm.
they haven't had a smooth, comfortable game in a while though, but yeah.
Yeah. I think that 10.5 for the Warriors looks pretty good too, but I think unders is even better. 41.5 too. It's not one of those 39.5 ones you're looking at. It's 41.
Yeah, you get your point.
Yeah. Let's take that shit. Take it straight to the bank. All right, the next game at 5:30. It's the Battle of the Sea Creatures. Shit. It's the Sharks versus the Dolphins.
It's in Derby.
Sharks are heavy favourites, $1.35. Dolphins 325, lines 9.5. Total points is 45.5 points in this motherfucker. Team list wise, Hamlin Ueli, he's out for a month after getting hip dropped. Mate, more hip drops, I tell you. I'm confused, but that one was a hip drop. That one
was not good.
Yeah. The players reacted. It was slow. Like I think Hamlin Ueli was just walking, like that.
Yeah.
Post contact bullshit, really slow, and just hip dropped him. Like there were 5 other ways to take him down. You could have just done a standard tackle him, hit him on the hip, slide down the legs. That's what would have been fine, but he hip dropped him anyway. So he's gone, but Finucane's back. For the Dolphins, Ray Stone and Robert Jennings are out. Tessie New, Anthony Milford, and Mason Teague are in. Branko Lee is injured. Dolphins, unpredictable motherfuckers who can't seem to get close in the first half. Somehow claw it back. The Cronulla Sharks, I love betting them in the first half. They did the damage for me last week against the Cowboys. What was it? 13.5 points was $2.20 or something. They scored like 20-something points.
It was, yeah, you had your bet covered after about 20 minutes.
Yeah. About 14 minutes in. So what are your thoughts on this one?
Gone Sharks cover line. The recent form for me just they're on fire. Like these aren't the games that are going to trouble them.
It's a nice dry track.
Nice little stat there. Sharks have won 14 last 17 matches against teams from Queensland.
Oh, they love it.
Playing the boys north.
Oh, so. No, they love that shit. Just keep them away from water. That's not their thing. So the Sharks will dip late May to early June when it's very cold. It'll be too cold for them to play this type of football, but I think whilst the weather's good, traveling up to Brisbane, I think they go hard. So I'm going with a couple of players in this one. I'm just trying to I'll tell you what all of them I'm looking at.
Go on.
I like Sharks -5.5 in the first half. I like the Sharks total points over in the first half. I actually like their total points over in general. But can you believe their first half points for Cronulla, the line is 12.5? Are you fucking kidding me? The Dolphins conceded more than 12.5 points in the first 20 minutes against the Raiders.
Yeah, right. I can't figure that out. Wait.
It's science, mate. I'd taken all the way up to 18 points in the first half. Nico's kicking, so let's go 16 points.
8. So they've covered that. Yeah, 3 of their last 4 games. It was only the Roosters they were.
And that game, it was raining. It was wet.
Yeah,
they don't
it was
like
raining.
That.
Yeah.
There's no rain up in this motherfucker.
It's a stat.
The only water that's going to be on the field will be carried by the water boys and in Nico's hair. That's the only bit of water that'll see this pitch.
A lot of water in his hair.
It's a lot of water.
He's always got wet hair.
Yeah. So that's an absolute moral here. So I think the best one is to take Cronulla over 12.5 points because you can get that for plus money. But I would take Cronulla over 12.5. I'd take Cronulla -5.5. I'll take the over 22.5. I'll do the double. -5.5 over 22.5. That's like 350-ish as well. So, but yeah, best one there is take Cronulla over 12.5. Can you believe under 12.5 for Cronulla in the first half is $1.68? What are these guys doing? What is that?
Don't know.
Do they know something I don't?
Yeah, I've worried with there's an ambush here.
They're playing with a gridiron ball or something? I don't know. It's true. And it's not like the Dolphins lock teams up in the first half.
Nah.
Last 2 weeks, they've been absolutely destroyed in the first half. And you'd think after the first one against the Titans, they would fix that shit up right away and not let Canberra. And Canberra just rolled them. So, yeah, look, over 12.5. I'm not saying they're going to roll the Dolphins in the first half. I don't think the Dolphins just roll over like that. But on paper, the Sharks have the advantage in almost every position. I think Will Kennedy's playing just as good as the Hammer is, and he's their best player. Jeremy Marshall-King's playing really good, but Blake Brayley's playing good too. Outside of that, they got nothing. Felice Kafusi didn't even tackle anyone hard last week. I didn't see it.
They must
I know
know
he missed
something.
tackles on Jack Wyden. I know that. So, and Nikorai's playing heaps better than Kafusi. So, yeah, give me the Sharks all day. Over 12.5 in the first half. Put that in your slip right now, because this is going to be under $2 by tomorrow.
Done.
And I think the wise thing to do here, Luke, especially when you're talking about rugby league, find the games that you're most confident in and just play them multiple ways, or put a bigger bet on that particular game instead of, like, let's say allocating $50 per game.
Yeah, I think, yeah. If you want to get technical, you could do staking and stuff like that, which you probably should do, but fuck.
Yeah, just get
not
wise
full time. Yeah.
Right. I'll have, if I look at the games, I know I'm not going to touch that Canberra game. Well, I will, but I just know I shouldn't. But this game, put your hands all over it. Like, put your hands, your mum's hands, put your feet on it if you want to. Just
if you're into that stuff, do it.
Get amongst it. But yeah, what have you got on this game? Sorry.
No, I got them cover the line. Sharks cover the line.
You got the Sharks cover. Okay,
9.5.
cool.
Yeah.
And now you have the Sharks over 12.
And now over 12.5 at $1.94.
Yeah. $1.94. Come in. Science. All right. So that'll be a great game. I think there'll be a lot of points in this one. If you do like try scorers, this is your one. But I have honestly, with all my bonus bets and shit that I get, this year I've probably touched 40 to 50 try scorers. Well, I'd say 50 try scorers. And I reckon I've probably hit 6.
Yeah, it's rough.
And it's not like I don't just guess. I look at handicappers on Twitter. I look at the data to see where teams concede tries. I look at how players perform against teams. I look at the matchups, who's defending them, how it's going to happen. And I could still only get 12% of my try scorers right.
There's been games where there's been like 5 try scorers and none of them have been winger and fullback.
Yeah.
I was like, how?
It's fucking corrupt. So if you like try scorers, this is a good game for it. But everyone's going to pick Ronaldo and Katoa because they seem to score all Ronaldo's tries. And the Hatma has a great try scoring rate this year, even though he's gone a little bit quiet lately. It'd be Will Kennedy in the first half's a good play. The boys on the wing, Jermaine Asako and Hammer. That's where everybody's going to be throwing their money at. I'm not going to do it, but that's a good game for it. Let me tell you. Next one should be an absolute blockbuster at 7:45. It's a Storm versus the Rabbitohs. The line in this one is 0.5 point. Now, depending on which bookie you use, you'll get a different favorite in it. Sportsbet have Souths -1.5, $1.85 head to head, whereas Tab have it only by 0.5 point, but I think that'll move throughout the week. So it's pretty much a pick 'em. The total points line's 40.5. Looking at the team list, Storm are fresh off the bye. So Katoa's back in after his head knock. Only change for the Storm and for the Rabbitohs. Mawali, he's out of the squad. And Liam Knight looks like he's back. Totola survived. He's coming back last week. He's come back from injury a few times this season, and he only played a little bit, then he was injured again. So pretty much both teams at full strength. You have a theory on this one. What's your thoughts? What's the play?
Teams after the bye, 6-2. So I've gone Storm +1.5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're taking the Storm +1.5. Look, it's an absolute
That's purely the only reason, by the way. I have no
reason.
It's a flip for me, so that's the only reason.
Yeah. I guess when I'm doing all these plays, the way I kind of do it is I just try in my mind, try to predict how the game's going to go. Who wins? Is it close? Is there a lot of points? For some reason, I get a feeling that there's not going to be a lot of points, but it's going to be a close one. Could be a late try, could be a field goal, could be a 2-point field goal, could be a contentious decision, and then there's a penalty. Like something like that should happen in this game. I think it'd be good. It'll be close. Either team 1 to 12 is very confident in, but that's like $1.60. So we're not going there. I like the unders. Looking at first half, second half performances. The other thing is I like South to win that second half. I think you can get them for $2. So I'm hoping that South don't have a big lead at halftime, to be honest. But I think it'll be close all the way through. But
do you think they would have stayed up there?
South?
Yeah, or did they come back? No, because I think Latrell was doing something. That's right, yeah. I was like, surely just stay up there for the week.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Hmm.
But, yeah, it's good living up there. So what are that's your only play? You don't have, You're not doubling down, tripling down on this game?
Nah, this cracking game. I couldn't tell you which way it's going to go.
It's a game where you can't confidently say which way it's going to go. And if you say it with any confidence, there's a bit of ignorance there. Because this game is that close. You can't be that confident in leaning one way. Unless you're... So, but it's a game that it's a must watch, and you've got to have skin in it. You've got to have a skin in the game. So I got South second half. You've got Melbourne cover. Now, first game on your Sunday is probably one that if you're going to miss the game, be hungover after your Saturday, Luke, might be this one.
I'm going to be every day hungover.
That's true. And you'll just soldier on. Forgot that. At 1:50 on Sunday, it's the West Tigers versus St. George Illawarra Dragons. Look, another pick 'em. Not as entertaining as the last one, but the Dragons slight favourites at $1.80. The Tigers are $2. The line's 1.5. Bookies are expecting 42.5 points in this one. The Tigers, Brett Naden, 3-match suspension for the shoulder charge. Tommy Talau's back in, probably get injured. Kapola's back for the Dragons. Zach Lomax and Jacob Little have been dropped.
Yeah,
it's about time. Toby Caltrin's in, Michael Molo's in, Jack DeBowen starts up front, and Jaden Sewer's back in the lineup. So, a couple of questions here before you tell me how this game goes. First one is, and I already know the answer to this one, but how do the West Tigers respond after finally getting a win against Penrith? How do they respond this week? What do you think?
Let down. Did you see the full time? They were jumping like they won the comp.
I sat there and watched the interviews, the team song. Like, I'm not invested in any of it. I just wanted to see what was going to happen.
So, still in my theory, when they've won a grind against Penrith, they struggle to get back up for it.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to happen here, and I think Dragons will cover the line. Just, again, based on that.
You got the Dragons. All right, well, my other question. How do you think the Dragons respond after a few players get dropped?
I think they'll respond okay. It's obviously Lomax. Needed to happen. Jesus Christ, he's very hot. And he could have been like pushing State of Origin a few years ago by now.
Yeah. He should have been. So,
yeah, I think when they lose a game like that, something has to change. I think otherwise Griffin, I'm shocked he hasn't been sacked, but yeah.
I know. I think part of the issue is coaching, though. Like, they're playing him on the fucking left side of the field. He's got a right-hand carry. Like, it makes... you can't even... They put him on there so he can't flick pass.
Yeah, that's it. He has to go flick the other way.
So, yeah, it's a strange one. I'm not particularly fond of playing this game at all. If I had to lean anyway, it'd be Dragons 1 to 12. That's what I'd be thinking if you want a bit of value. But, yeah, it's a bit unpredictable. Luke Brooks, if he happens to play good, he could change the whole game up. Ben Hunt playing in Queensland is always an exciting prospect because Ben Hunt's like very quiet, or he's a fucking machine. He's had a few quiet ones this season, but maybe playing back up at Suncorp could rejuvenate the bloke.
He struggles with I know this, like everyone knows, but he's clutch plays and clutch times in games. He really struggles. Like so many games this year, they've been down by a try or something, or even the other day 2 points, and like they went side. Like at that point, put your hand up and steer them. Like he just struggles that, or he knocked on the ball one week when they were chasing points in the last 10 seconds or something. Wasn't watching. He really struggles with that.
The reality is he's playing out of position. He's a better hooker than he is halfback.
Yeah,
like he's at hooker. He has no weakness.
It's true.
You could say he's almost as good as Harry Grant.
Yeah,
he's not as good as Harry Grant, but he's almost as good, which is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
But at halfback, he probably does what is he in the bottom half of the competition?
Yeah.
He's just the best halfback they have. I don't know. I think they need to put Sullivan in the halves and just try Ben Hunt at 9 because you got fucking Mbai in there and you drop Little. Like,
Yeah.
just try it. You'd be surprised because their attack's not great anyway. If you
No.
just kept it simple, forwards hit it up, and we get quick play of the balls, run from dummy half, see what happens. They'd probably score a lot more, and you get Sloan pushing up the middle.
It's true.
But anyway, I don't know anything about rugby league, so
No, what do we know? We're not coaches.
No, not at all. Ben Hunt probably says, "I don't want to play number 9." Maybe it's that.
Yeah, maybe
So,
that's all.
Yeah, but no real play for me. But I am leading Dragons 1-12 in that one. And then your second game on Sunday at 4 p.m. It's the Roosters versus the Cowboys. Now, if this was last year, probably have a bit more excitement around it. But the Roosters starting to find. Look, I don't know if they're starting to find form. They've won a lot of games this year. They're sitting 5th on the ladder at the moment, 5 wins and 3 losses. They just haven't been very convincing. They're $1.25. Line's 11.5. Cowboys are $4. Now, Cowboys are second last. 3 wins and 6 losses.
Who's seen this coming?
Not me. I know you did, though. The Cowboys have been disappointing. The Roosters won by 14 last week, but it wasn't it wasn't what you think it was. That could have easily been a 2-point win. So they saved a couple tries, which is pretty big considering the conditions, but they're also missing some players. Brandon Smith, he's been named. He went to the hospital. What did you go to the hospital for? Hay fever?
His neck. He's back.
His pussy and his crack.
Correct.
Momorowski, shoulder, he's out. Hutchison goes in the center, so they don't lose much there. Turpin's on the interchange. JWH is back as well. For the Cowboys, Helam Lukey's in, but Nanai is out after his hip drop. Chad Townsend, I didn't know that he was injured at the back end of that game. I honestly thought he got hooked because he was playing so bad.
It was that tackle he tried making on Val? No, it wasn't Val. Ronaldo. Sorry, Ronaldo. Yeah.
Yeah?
He literally stuck an arm. It was terrible. Like, he got burnt down the sideline.
He got burnt by Nico as well at the start?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's a good point, Huncho. My apologies. Sam Walker still dropped, but they've been winning without him. Manu at 6 is working. The problem is that they're losing centers.
Yeah.
So at some point, they might have to put Manu back there or play Satili there or something if they're adamant to keeping Manu at 6. So, Cowboys terrible. The Roosters are screaming out they're going to lap these dogs. Doesn't say 13 plus to me. But what are your thoughts on this one? I know you hate the Cowboys. So
I do, and I hated them more after last week. I've gone the cover line minus 11.5 the Roosters.
The Chooks are covered.
Last 5 games, they've flogged the Cowboys. Like, even last year, they beat them by 14, then 24. Both games last year, they beat them comfortably. The year before, they actually played them in Magic Round and beat them by 14, beat them by 16 up in Townsville, beat them by 26 in 2020 as well. So they don't mind playing the Cows. The Cows really struggle against them. There's even a game there from memory where they flogged them up at Townsville, and Roosters had one of the winger get the last minute call because one of the Morris boys is injured. He scored 5 tries or something or 4 tries or something.
Yeah. That game. Fuck.
Yeah. He literally all he did was catch the ball and put the ball down. But I think it was 4 or 5 tries he scored that day. So I've got him covering.
Yeah, you know what? I'm liking that as well. The Cowboys, I can't find a reason to support them covering the line. They have one player playing good at the moment, and that's Val Holmes. They got one. And they got heaps of injuries. Their forward pack sucks. Cotter's not even close. Like, he probably still make Origin out of loyalty, but he's not playing good at all. He's getting steamrolled in the middle. His work rate doesn't seem the same. Drinkwater's running sideways. Townsend's probably still injured, lacking confidence, whatever it may be. Tuolungi, I don't know if he plays Origin either. Like, he's not playing good. And Hiku hasn't done a good thing all year. So, whereas you could argue that the Roosters are warming into some form. They're winning ugly games, but defensively they're excellent with this lineup they have because you don't have Sam Walker anymore. That's one less target on that side of the field. So if you're attacking the Roosters, you're only attacking one player, which is Luke Keary. Like, where else do you go? The Butcher Boys like tackling more than they like running, and so does Radley.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I was looking at Cowboys unders. I think the line on the tab's 14.5. But I don't like playing unders, especially with that. That's only 3 tries. Anything could happen. So I'm leaning Cowboys unders, but I do like the Roosters to cover as well. So haven't made my mind up on that one. But the Roosters will definitely be winning. I just got to figure out behind that how much. So I'll sit on that one for now. Anything more you want to add on the Cowboys? You want to shit on them about anything else?
Nah, I fucking hate them. The shit. I'm loving it. I love being right. Fucking
All right.
yeah, so good. My cash out's not bad now. It's 3 times the original stake. I got them at $3.50, so I'm basically getting cash out for $3 odds now.
Yeah. Well, surely
It's almost tempting now if they get flogged this weekend to take the cash out because it will be just about good as done. But if they start winning, then it could be all. Especially how close everything is.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the good thing is this game's on Sunday, right? So you can see how the other results go. We should start to see a bit more movement in the middle pack of the ladder. Last game, 6:25. Last game at Magic Round. The pitch is going to be absolutely destroyed. It's the Titans versus the Eels. The Eels are $1.39 favourites. The line's 7.5. Total points are at 47.5 points. It's the highest of the weekend, which is pretty amazing. Looking at the lineups though, AJ Brimson's out again, but they do have Jaden Campbell. That just brings Cruz Lemming back into the side. Kieran Foran, I don't know how he keeps playing. Like, I need people like Kieran Foran to work for me. He will never call in sick. Like, his toes fucked, his knees fucked. After the game last week, he's just limping everywhere, like just struggling. Yeah. And somehow manages to play on. But at the same time, he didn't get targeted once, and he was injured.
Do you know you're older than him?
Look, aren't you older than him? Or is it just me?
He's older than me by a couple months.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I believe that. I've had my fair share of knee surgery.
Do you really think he plays and looks 40 after games?
Mate, I work in an office. I get my nails cut for me, mate. Like, I don't do that shit. My hands are...
Do you really?
Yeah, I cut my own nails. I'm a fucking boss. But, I've had my fair share of knee injuries, so I know how he feels, lingering injuries. I actually sprained my ankle, 10 to 12 weeks ago? Still fucked now, but playing on, pushing through.
You are the Foz.
Yeah, sweet dafty Foz. But yeah, he wasn't targeted once. Now, for the Eels, Andrew Davey, re-signed again by Parramatta. He's starting on the edge with Bryce Cartwright shifting to the bench. Ryan Madison's back in the squad. Missing RCG, but still a relatively strong forward pack. Concern for the Eels, it's more so in that back line, I think. You've got Gutho does it all. Sivo under-delivers. Simonson, tries hard, doesn't score anything. Penasini's actually improved this year, but he's not a strike centre. He's just a little bit better than your average centre, I'd say. But Mitchell Moses, I think he's having a really good year despite Parramatta struggles, Mitchell Moses.
Solid.
He hasn't he's not playing bad.
Correct, where he last year would play amazing, but then go missing completely.
Yes.
He hasn't gone missing this year. They've been very...
No, he's always there. Dylan Brown's going missing from time to time. But Moses, last year he'd verse the Tigers, convert 7 tries, set up 4 of them, score 2 himself. Yeah. And then the following week he could do nothing. But this year's very steady, very consistent, doing what he needs to do. But yeah, it's just not always resulting in wins when they need him to. So how do you see this game going, though? The Titans, I think most people would say they're playing better than people would expect them to. They are awfully inconsistent, though. We did back them last week, but I think that's more how shit Manly is, or we expected Manly to be. Probably not as good as how good we expect the Titans to be.
Yeah.
The line in this game is bigger than that game against Manly, and it just happens to be in Queensland. You could say the Titans have the home field advantage here, but yeah, what are your thoughts? How does this game go?
I've gone unders just purely based on field being shit. The field is going
Do you remember the last game of last year's Magic Round?
It was Tigers Cowboys, I believe.
Yeah.
I might get that up while I'm thinking about it. I'm almost certain it was the game. Pretty sure. The second game, Roosters beat Para. Canberra beat Nulla from memory, and the last game. This is testing my knowledge, by the way. Was the Cowboys Tigers?
Yeah.
And
Cowboys won 30-12.
But there was actually this is typical Cowboys. They scored some of the arsiest tries that night. There was a try where Tuolangi or someone was going miles over the sideline, and they actually showed they showed the Rock that video. Like that's one of the tries that everything fucking stuck that night. So but also that weekend it rained and poured the whole weekend, which actually held the ground up better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because everyone was just sliding around in the wet, whereas it wasn't
now,
it's dry, just getting ripped up. It's different to say Sydney, where if it rains, the grounds get soggy and everything. Suncorp needs that rain, but yeah, that's how I envision it.
I can relate to this. The field had potholes everywhere. It looked like Parramatta Road. Parramatta Road is a fucking awful thing to drive on, I tell you. But yeah, it's pretty accurate. Despite it being wet last year, Magic Round, there's some points were put on. There was 62 in the Rabbitohs game and 55 in the Roosters Eels game.
Again, for those who remember that Rabbitohs Warriors game, the Rabbitohs were up 26-0 and nearly lost that game. They were flogging them, and then they shut off, and then the Warriors came back. The Titans-Dragons game was awful. Penrith Melbourne were depleted. I think Hughes was out and Pappenhausen from memory, and Munster carried. Like they scored their first try and carried, but yeah.
Okay.
Sunday was dry though. Sunday was dry, it wasn't wet.
Right. But there wasn't enough damage done, I guess, throughout the rest. So your prediction here is that the field gets beat up and it goes under, 47 and a half?
Yeah, 40, it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, just doing on 47, there was only 2 games last year that went over that.
That's a good point.
3 out of the 8.
Yeah, look, I can't get a play on this game purely because Titans are a bit unpredictable, but so I just don't like the Eels. I guess like their back line. I honestly think the Titans' back 5 is better. They've got points in them. Campbell, Pereira, Kelly, Fafita, and Sami. They've got some points in them, but Kieran Foran, does he play the whole game? Tanner Boyd, he tends to shit himself in the second half. Like a lot of them shitting themselves in the second half is Tanner Boyd, but they didn't completely shit it last week. I don't want to make too many references about shitting the bed. Had my fair share of that. And the forwards, I think David Fafita's playing really good this year. Like he's actually playing like a second rower. Like he's not doing anything amazing. He's just getting through work. Like he's actually working. His average runs are up. His meters are very much the same, but it's the type of runs he's doing. He's not running sideways anymore. His defense is better. He's not making headlines because he's not doing anything crazy, but he's actually just doing his job. Which some would see it as a regression, but it's actually better for him because he was a flat track bully last year. Yeah. Up against good sides, he gets shut down completely because he played like a 12-year-old. But up against a shit team, he'll be ragdolling kids and running 30 meters. So he's actually playing like a proper second rower now. So I respect that. I think it's a good evolution to his game. All he needs, it's crazy how physically imposing the guy is and how freakishly talented he is with the ball in hand, but he can't run a line. You know how those good second rowers can run that hard line? Like
Yeah.
Nickera from the Sharks. He runs a line hard as fuck.
It's a kamikaze line.
Yeah. Boyd Cordner got famous for it. Also got a lot of concussions too. Like, even who do I think when I think of hard lines? I think of Tony Carroll. Lockie was just pumping his bloke through that hard line like crazy. Kick out can run a line too. You know, he hits it hard.
Can when he's fit.
Sean Lane, he runs a good line as a second rower. So yeah, but Dave Fafita can't run that to save his life. Like, I haven't seen it. He gets it deep. He catches it like he plays fullback in those swing plays. So, but yeah, just my thoughts. But what are yours on this one actually? How many bets you got on it? What are you thinking?
Just the
what
one.
happened?
Just got
Just
the
the one?
unders. Just the
Just
chop
the
ups.
Okay.
I'm rooting for a fucking drop ball, injury fest, slow speed in the game.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Honcho's
Not a
looking on
huge
the free to
crowd.
play. I didn't know he had done all that. This is just my observation is that he's playing differently. So kudos to Dave. But yeah, look, not too much I've got to say on this game. Might have to decide closer to. There could be a trend of things that happen within the games throughout the week, which is very Magic Round-esque. Like, what's happening around these games? Is that underdogs are covering really well, or favorites could just be pumping teams? So you might have to adapt to what's actually happening, the theme. So, but look, last set of questions before I let you go. There's been fucking a lot more upsets this year because the games are a lot more competitive, right? Where do you see the upsets coming from?
This week, if there's going to be one,
there's going to be at least two. I'm telling you,
two.
Yeah,
I will go Titans.
Yep.
To upset Para. I think Para are a win-loss type team, and so they're due a loss.
Yep.
The other one, I think, let's go Manly to beat the Broncos.
Yeah, look, it could happen, honestly, because we're susceptible to that shit. I was also thinking maybe the Sharks, Dolphins.
Sharks, Dolphins could be, yeah.
The Dolphins are a gritty fucking team, and the Sharks have shit a lead before up against the Warriors. But every year there's at least two. I mean, every week there's been at least two of these upsets. There's a few that are pick 'em, but the surprise in those games that are pick 'ems, you could see a blowout.
Yeah, true.
Look at Hunter coming with the facts. I need to get you on.
I like that stat there too. Yeah.
Like this one?
900th game.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy. If he didn't take that season off, he could potentially in 3 years be playing. I don't know if he would be alive in 3 years, but 1,000 games coached.
1,000, yeah.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy because coaching's like you do that job every day, right?
Yeah.
That's like if we racked up 900 podcasts.
Yeah.
Because he only coached one game a week. We only do one podcast a week. If we got to 1,000 episodes. Crazy.
It's 20 years.
Yeah. Fuck.
But remember now, he has off seasons. Like, we'd have to do 20 straight years of one a week.
Yes.
Like, that's...
And we do have an off season too.
We do have an off season, but like that's 20 straight. That's if we were to go every single week, it'd be 20 years to get 1,000.
Fuck.
Maybe Rogan up to.
That's what I was thinking. I actually listened to Rogan this morning, driving into work.
But he punches out like a few in a day. Like he'll sit down with a couple of people and bang them out. But he must. I swear he's he's a high number.
1,978.
Wow.
So Joe Rogan's got more podcasts than Wayne Bennett has games.
That's insane. There's a stat. That's better than my Survivor 44 season stat.
And he's got an average episode length of like 2.5 hours.
It's a lot of talking, It's a lot of talk time.
Yeah. And he's not slowing down. He's on Athletic Greens. That's why. Just one of the ads that comes up whenever I listen to him. But yeah, I think the Dollies could get an upset. Could be one of those fucking second half things too. Like Cronulla could come out firing because they always do. Dollies come back. But yeah, what I was saying is the other surprise could be these games that are pick'ems, and it could be an absolute blowout. Like
Yeah,
the Tigers come out 13 plus the Dragons.
it's true.
The Raiders come out 13 plus the Dogs, or vice versa. Like there's some close games, but it could actually be blown out completely. So it's not just the upset. Like unexpected things happen every single week, regardless how much you look into them. You couldn't have seen those things happen. Like if we look at last week, for example, if I stop getting these ticker
Penrith.
tech pop-ups.
Tigers Penrith.
No, we saw that shit happening, mate. It's not
Well, Tigers
unexpected.
winning. No, we said they'll cover line and keep it close, and he picked them to win.
Yeah. I thought Penrith on a 12 was the go, but Cleary couldn't kick. That's all. So we thought Sharks, Cowboys, not overly surprised. Eels, Knights, in hindsight, I'm not overly surprised, but I was heavy on the Knights to keep it close, but fade in the public there. The Rabbitohs pumping the Broncos. A shock to some, but a lot of people actually thought the Rabbitohs would come and absolutely destroy them. That Raiders-Dolphins game didn't go anything the way that I thought it would be. It surprised me. Not many people would have picked the Titans to beat Manly. We spoke about it, remember? I was like, is this too good to be true? Is this a casual thing? Am I looking at it the right way? And then you gave me all these reasons as to why people are going to be taking Manly. Sitting second on the ladder, at home, the weather, Titans on the road, yada, 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 right? Titans shitting the bed the week before. So there's an upset. Titans winning is an upset, but how they won, bigger upset. Tigers winning,
correct. Because I took 6.5 Titans. So
yeah, upset. There's two of them there. Roosters beating the Warriors 14-0. Wouldn't say a massive upset. I thought it would be a closer margin, but if you watch that game, it was close. Like the game was in the balance. It felt like most of the way until the Roosters got their last try. And then Dogs beating the Dragons. I felt that was a bit of a surprise. I know a lot of people are on the Dragons. I was. But yeah, like corrupt things can happen here. That's all I'm saying. So look out for that. We'll talk about it next week. We'll see what crazy shit happens. Hopefully it's not my Broncos shit in the bed, because it won't be the West Tigers on an NRL 360. It'll be fucking Kevin Walters again. So
Walters Evolution, Kevolution they call it.
Kevolution. All right, bros. Well, best of luck in your bets this week. You're sitting at 49% on the season. I'm sitting at 51%, which just goes to highlight how difficult it all is. But one podcast that we kind of gauge ourselves on is our mates at Tripod, who excellent show, by the way, great insights, been doing it for a very long time, wonderful bloke, old Winnie. But even he's not having a cracker this year. He had a great last week. He went 4-1. That was the best week he's had. But even with that 4-1 on his absolute best bets this year, he's 15-13. So he's more selective than we are.
Yeah, it's boring.
And doesn't take odds over $2. We're hitting some $2 hitters, some margins, that type of bullshit. He's only hitting at 54%. He was at 48% on his best bets up until last week. So it's difficult out there. So don't feel discouraged, Luke.
I'm not.
You're at 49%, but you fucking slay this week, you'll be back up to 50.
51 maybe.
51. All right, bros. Well, I'll catch you later. When are you flying out to Brizzy?
Friday morning.
Friday morning. God damn. You lucky bastard. I'll be sitting on my couch, hurling profanities, as I usually do. I hopefully get to see you on TV.
I hope not. I'll be worried if I'm on TV.
You're wearing a morph suit or something so I can pick you out? Or
your Panthers jersey on the Saturday. But I'm not. I think I'm 1-3 in this jersey now. I'm not very winning in it.
Well, look, you're going to be traveling with 20 to 30 blokes up there. Surely he's get a bit rowdy. Didn't you have an encounter with Matty Johns last year? Or did I make that up?
Yeah, no, we did.
You did?
He was off his chops. It was great.
Yeah, okay. Well, I expect some stories next Tuesday.
You will get them.
So make sure you deliver. Yeah, see if you can find some Broncos players for me.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll be out on the town if they win.
Or even someone like Gordon Tallis.
Yeah, right.
Talking about the Ben Ross thing. I was actually
He's
watching it
talked
the
off.
other night.
I've heard that 100 times. I get it. You're
I
old. You want to
follow.
flog someone.
I actually watched it back, right? And I was watching it back because I follow that page on Facebook. It's like rugby league fights or something,
Yeah.
and that came up again. And then I was watching it, and I was like, "Fucking hell! These are almost dog shots. They're very close to because Ben Ross did not want to fight him at any moment. He was
Yeah.
looking away, turning. He was he was getting grabbed by the jumper, and he was trying to get back in the defensive line. He didn't want that smoke. And then eventually he looked back at Gordon, and then he just started teeing off.
Tallis mentality. Get
He
the
was
first punch in.
like he was he was starting the cheapest whippersnipper you could ever find. Just like
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, very interesting. Yeah, you don't have to speak to Gordy; it's all good. But look,
Thanks.
come back with some stories. Best of luck this week. Leave. What's the absolute best? Let's talk about what you're going to throw your house at.
Oh, best.
Give us your fucking best.
Best.
I think we should just get. I reckon we should just get. Your best bet, my best bet. We should put $1,000 on it. That'll pay $350 at least every week.
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck. Best would be. I think unders in the Warriors Penrith. To be fair.
Yeah. Okay. And I've got.
I just can't see either team scoring 20 points.
So yeah, I can't see the Warriors letting Penrith score 30, 40 on them.
And I just can't see Penrith conceding. Again, there's the one thing that's been the one thing Penrith has been consistent in all year, and they went back to it last week, is they don't concede more than 2 tries. Like,
yeah,
it's happened 3 times this year, and the teams have scored 18 and 16 points. Like, they have not conceded 20 points. So I can't see that happening. At the same time, I can't see Penrith scoring 20. If they do, maybe 22 or something anyway. So
no, not until Cleary's fit and firing. And until they sort out their hooker position either.
Yes.
Yeah, they're missing some firepower there. All right. You got unders in that game, and my one is for Cronulla to score over 12.5 in the first half.
Okay.
But that one's over $2 odds. So we plus yours, we could be getting close to $4.
Fuck,
380. 380, put 1,000 on that. Look, I'll leave you to put that on, and I'll pay you back after it wins.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. You heard it here first, lads. Appreciate you all for checking in. Lucky Huncho, you're a bit late, but you made it in the end, so I appreciate you both. I'll speak to you guys in the Discord. Luke, I'll see you next week, my man.
See ya.
You enjoy Magic Round. For you other motherfuckers, have a great week. Bye.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and